So today's session is all about boundaries, and we're going to look and work with boundaries in a completely different way. And really this is about noticing where you end, where the rest of the world begins, and how you can maintain the integrity of that. And so boundaries are such a beautiful example of practical energy work. And that's where I really specialize in, and that's my jam. It's taking kind of energy practices and making them really practical, tangible, and useful for our day-to-day. So I think this is the perfect group to work with boundaries today. So just a sentence or two around the way we can look at boundaries in this way. You know, boundaries are such a good example of something really intangible, and yet something that we all feel. We all intrinsically feel boundaries. You can always tell when somebody's kind of infringing on your personal space. You can tell when somebody's not respecting your boundaries. And it can be really hard to verbalize why. You just feel it. And you can also feel when somebody else has spongy boundaries. And so what I'm inviting us into today is to move away from seeing boundaries as just a kind of intangible performative construct, and instead to see it as the juncture where you end and where the rest of the world begins, and how you can actually assess the integrity of your boundary, and you can kind of use it to modulate the exchange of energy between the two. Because really, your boundary and the edge of your energy field really mediates what happens between the two. And you can get really valuable information about the energies that you encounter, and you can filter out those energies that are not helpful to you, whilst you can kind of allow in the energies that are helpful. So I'll just take us through a really simple practice. So I'll just invite you to close your eyes, very relaxed, and just kind of really come into your body. Just close your eyes and just sort of bring all of your awareness back into your body. And I always like to bring my attention kind of down my spine, down that central column of my body. And I like to feel myself rooted into the chair or into my feet on the ground. And actually the ability to stay centered in your own body is absolutely integral to maintaining healthy boundaries. So as you sit here with your awareness in your body, firstly, just become aware of the boundary of your physical body. So that's your flesh, your skin. So just kind of become aware of the boundary of your skin. Just try and take in like the whole of your skin in one go. Just become aware of your skin as this incredible, sophisticated container of your physical body. And as you take a deep breath in now, just notice how your physical body expands a little bit. So as you breathe into your lungs, you feel your physical body expand, and as you breathe out, you feel it contract. And if you just touch your skin, like just touch the back of your hand, you'll notice that your skin is this perfect substance that is semi-porous. So it's designed to be a filter for your body. It allows you to take in substances that nourish and replenish you, and it allows you to expel substances that are not helpful to you. And I want you to start thinking about boundaries in exactly the same way. So just again, bring your attention into your body. If you found that you've kind of drifted out, just bring it back into the body. And now I'm going to show you where the boundary of your energy body is, because you don't end where your skin ends. Like your essence kind of extends beyond your skin. And you know this because you have heat radiating off you, and you can feel it when you come into contact with someone and you get closer. You can feel their energy, you can feel their heat, you can feel their essence. And this is really where you end and the rest of the world begins. So really, your energy body extends to about an arm's width around you. So you can actually, if you like, put your arms out, just draw a circle around you. And this is approximately where your energy body extends to. So I want you to imagine another boundary around that. I want you to remember that everything that happens inside of this boundary is your dominion. Everything that happens outside of that boundary is not your responsibility, and you actually have no control over. But everything that happens inside of this boundary, and it's the same above your head and below your body, that's you, that's your world, and you have complete dominion over it. It's your kingdom. So this is really the boundary that I'm going to be inviting you to pay attention to today. And for me personally, when I remember that I have an energy boundary and that is a juncture, like that's a meeting point between my space, my kingdom, and the rest of the world, and that I'm in charge of the integrity of that boundary, it immediately brings me into a different relationship with boundaries and with the world around me, where I feel much more empowered and I feel like my boundaries are immediately healthier. So let's close our eyes again, bring our attention back into our bodies. Just become aware with your eyes closed of the boundary of your energy body around 3 feet around you. What you can start to do is, just like we touched our skin, the back of our hands, our physical skin, just imagine that you have a second skin. So imagine that like your awareness now is like the yolk of an egg, and that around you, 3 feet around you, you have a second skin. And the beautiful thing about working with energy in the way that we're working creatively and imaginatively, but very effectively, let me tell you, is that you can use your own imagination to effectively work with energy. So I love to imagine a second skin around the energy body, the boundary of my energy body. But if you want to make it like a bubble, or if you want to make it like a lattice in some way, like a leaf, whatever feels really good to you, I want you to just create a skin, create a container around the boundary of your energy body. So just take a moment to do that. And just notice, does it have a color? Does it have a texture? And just notice the integrity of it. So even if you kind of just in your mind's eye look around at it, notice the integrity. Notice if it feels a bit weak or if it feels really strong. And you can absolutely repair the integrity of that. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So next thing I want us to do is, just like before, when we breathed in and we felt our physical body expand, try breathing in now. Take a deep breath in and just feel the boundary of your energy body expand along with you. And as you breathe out, notice it contracting slightly. So your boundary is responsive and it's kind of fluid and flexible and tensile. It is an extension of you. So you're breathing in and it's expanding, and you're breathing out. And you are keeping your awareness in the central column of your body. So you're like the yolk inside of the egg. And just briefly, because I find it really helpful to do this, you can try opening your eyes, sitting in the seat where you are, in the room that you are. Keep maintaining that awareness of the boundary of your energy body, but with your eyes open, and just look around you in the room and just notice how it feels to be like really centered in your own boundary and being aware of where your boundary is. And if there are other people in the room nearby, notice what it feels like to be close to other people, but to be really established inside your own boundary and to have that really defined. And just imagine how different a conversation with somebody would be if you were like really rooted and grounded inside your own boundary. That's a discussion for another day. But it's just really helpful to like imagine it and to just, you immediately feel how different it would be. So let's close our eyes again and come back into that yolk of an egg centering in the middle of our energy body, or your energy field, you could call it, whatever feels good to you. So now we're going to play with the 3 different movements that your energy body can take, the boundary of your energy body can take. And the first is that you can move your energy boundary. You can move it in and out. And there are really practical and like useful reasons why you would do this. So just practice now, kind of expanding the boundary of your energy body way out. Just like move it. You can absolutely do this just by intending. Imagine expanding it so that it really expands and fills the whole room that you're in. Just notice what it feels like. And just stay really playful with this, because when you work with energy like this, with subtle energy, there's no difficulty. It's just easeful, and it's all about staying relaxed and chilled. So just practice kind of moving it out, and then notice what it feels like to have it so far out. And actually, this might be a really familiar feeling for some of you, because some of us walk around with ballooned boundaries all the time. We merge with everything that we come across. It can actually feel like quite a spacey, ungrounded place where you're like mingling with everything around you. So this might be really familiar for you. Next, I want you to bring it back to the kind of 3 feet around you. And now try shrinking it in. So it's like really close around your body. Notice how that feels. This might be the default for some of you. We tend to do this, for example, if we're in a crowded lift, and it's a really good trick to do in a crowded lift, where if you just hate being a sardine in a crowd, just shrink your energy, shrink your boundary so it's really close around you, and it kind of helps you feel protected, and it helps you maintain energetic integrity. It's good energy hygiene to do that. So just notice what that feels like. But I also want you to imagine what it would feel like if it was like this all the time. If you were to move through your day, move through your conversations, if you were at your desk or in conversation with somebody, like what would it feel like to have it this shrunken? It might make you feel a little bit isolated. It might make it hard to be in right relationship with somebody else. This is all to be explored and to be played with. So let's just move it back to kind of 3 feet around us. And just notice how that feels. Notice if that feels nice, if it feels more natural. And just remember that you absolutely have the ability to expand and contract your boundaries whenever you want. You will start to realize what situations call for which approach. If you're out walking in nature, it's a really nice thing to do to expand your boundaries so that you take in more of the world around you, you take in more essence of the trees and of nature. You kind of become more responsive. If you're in a crowd or if you're at a conference or something like that, it's nice to shrink it in a bit and just kind of maintain a bit of privacy, a bit of space, a bit of integrity. So the second movement we're going to do is we're going to play with making our energy field dense or diffuse. So just making sure we're centered on our body, always bringing ourselves back into the center of our bodies, which is a massive part of healthy boundaries. Reconnecting to that second skin, whatever that was for you. And now kind of tune into the quality of the space between the edge of your boundary and your physical body. So that 3 feet. And let's try making the energy more diffuse. So just with your intention, just try making it way denser. Just imagine like all the particles become really dense and it's almost like sludge or wood or stone. Just make it really, really dense. You can even shrink it in a little bit. Just make it really kind of dense, closely woven. And just notice what that feels like. Just spend a moment. Notice how that feels. There may be times when this would be effective. Again, if you're with a lot of people around you and you want to protect your energy, you can just bring your energy field in a bit and you can make it a little bit denser. Now we're going to try the other way. So just expand your energy field a bit again and just make it really diffuse, like really airy, spacious, very, very diffuse, like lots of space between every molecule, if that makes sense. And just expand it out. And notice what that feels like. This might be a really familiar feeling for many of you because this is how a lot of people walk around, is with very diffuse boundaries, with very little containment. And so the problem is that everything that comes into contact with you, which is all the time, sort of passes through. There's no containment. The filter is very diffuse. And so just play again, play with, okay, bringing it back to that 3 feet around you, maintaining that skin again, just like repair the boundary and just make your space into the density that feels good and healthy for you in this moment. And the more you practice this, the more you'll establish a familiarity with the kind of energy field and boundary that suits where you're at, how you're feeling, who you're with, what you want and what you don't want. Okay, so the third movement we're going to do is also really important. So you can move your energy body 3 ways: in and out, dense and diffuse, or up and down, which is a really interesting one. Because of the culture that we're in, lots of us kind of concentrate all of our energy up in our analyzer at the front of our brain, which is a helpful place to have your awareness sometimes, but it's not a helpful place to have your awareness all the time. Your analyzer is there to help you make decisions and sift through data, but it's not where you want to have all your energy focused. So just bring your attention back into your body if it's moved, which is totally normal if it has. Center yourself again. Reconnect to the skin of your second boundary. And just notice if your energy field is more concentrated in any place. Does it feel denser towards the top of your body? Or does it feel more dense at the bottom of your body? For me personally, it's always very dense around my head. And so I really have to work hard to kind of allow it to flow and even out around my whole body. And when I do that, then the way that I meet other people, the way that I sit with them and attune with them is completely different, because I'm not looking at them through the filter of my analyzer, I'm receiving them with my whole body. So just notice where your energy tends towards. And let's try moving it up and down. So if you connect to your whole energy body and try moving all of the energy up to the top third of your body. So just move the boundary of your energy body so that everything is focused kind of around your head and your shoulders. And notice how that feels. Perhaps this is really familiar. What I'd love you to pay attention to is, how does it make the rest of your body feel? Like from your chest downwards, does that feel now really ungrounded and untethered? Like, imagine walking around like this, where you're in this, like all your kind of boundary is a tight bubble around your head, and then the rest of your body is kind of untethered. And let's try just again expanding your energy field so it's all around your body, 3 feet. And let's try doing the opposite, where we move all of the energy of our energy body down around our pelvic area, which is where the first chakra is. So just see what that feels like, to move all of your energy, to have it kind of focused around your root area. So it's really dense and it's all like focused there. How does that feel? How does that make the rest of your body feel? How does that make your head feel? Your heart? Does that make you feel really heavy? Does it actually bring a lot of dense energy to your root area, which is where a lot of your fear lives? So when you do this and you kind of have all of your energy densely gathered around your root, that can be a place where we feel like a lot of visceral fear. So let's just practice again, just breathing and expanding all of your energy back into that beautiful egg shape around your body. And just remembering that it takes practice. And so you may have felt some things today more than others. And sometimes on some days, it feels much more tangible than on other days, depending on your level of energy. But I absolutely love this practice as being one of the most tangible examples of how working with energy can be practical and useful. And boundaries is the most perfect example. So I hope you enjoyed that. And just maybe for the rest of the day, see what it feels like to be in your body, aware of your boundary, and notice how it moves depending on who you're with, where you're at, and how you're feeling. Enjoy.